evening, Leroy. How are you?
Good. I gotta say, I really like the Florence Y'all's jersey that you got going on. That is
Right? It's pretty
fantastic.
it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, see? Got to support it because it looks exactly like
Yeah.
the water tower. I had to match it too with a hat because I'm that guy.
And for those who don't know, and I know we don't really have a whole lot of people watching right now, but for those who don't know, tell them why.
Wait a second. Leroy, we have 4 people watching right now. So
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
Don't even. I think that's our new record. No, I think
for
our
those
record's
who don't
11.
know,
Yes.
them.
So Florence.
Tell them why they're called the Y'alls.
Yeah, I'm from Union, Kentucky, which is the city over from Florence, but they used to be the Florence Freedom. And it is a Frontier League baseball team, which is not even made like minor league baseball. It's like the step below minor league baseball. It's for people that they're giving it one last chance is pretty much the best way to describe it. So a few years ago, they decided to rebrand and they changed their nickname to the Florence Y'alls. And the reason for that is Florence is known for the Florence Water Tower. If you've ever driven through Northern Kentucky, Florence Y'all, it says on the water tower. Now, it says Florence Y'all because when they built the water tower, it said Florence Mall because it's right over top of the Florence Mall. But at the time, there was some statute that you couldn't advertise something that wasn't already built. And the mall had not technically been finished building. So the mayor at the time said, well, I don't want to repaint the entire thing. So he just took off 2 parts of the M and made it Florence Y'all. And that's the rest, you could say, is history. So that's why they are now the Florence Y'alls. And it is fantastic. So their mascot is a water tower and so on. So it's pretty great as well when it comes to that. But appreciate everyone for tuning in this evening. On the show, we've got some news. It's a slowish week, not really, but kind of. There's a little bit for us to touch on. A big death that we'll talk about. Finals, NBA, it's done. NHL, it's maybe done. The Madden, apparently the 99 Club has been released. It's really big there. We'll have Who Am I, tidbits, logos. Will this... Hey, Paul, I'm on the road, be home shortly. Well, don't wreck. Good advice, right? Play clock, drivers, NASCAR, and so on. That NASCAR pick contest, Leroy, it's getting real interesting. Real interesting.
I have a feeling I had a good week this week.
Yeah, but you weren't the only one. So we'll call that the old radio tease in the business, and come back to that a little bit later on.
Don't forget Leroy's tidbits.
I think I said that. If I didn't say that, I don't know. But Who Am I? All of that we'll have coming up. Play clock, drivers, so on. Everything on today's episode of the show. Maybe this will be the week. Will this be the week that Leroy gets 4 out of 4 on Leroy's logos? I think I've done a good job this week.
Oh, here we go.
I think I've done a good job on a balance, which probably means 0 for 4.
0 for 4.
So let's just start off on the low note and let's rise it up from the big thing. Leroy isn't good at NASCAR or logos, dying on that hill.
Wow.
Yeah, taking shots already. We're only 4 minutes and 17 seconds in, and it's already getting hot in here.
Hey, Paul, drive safe, buddy.
Or drive like a NASCAR driver. Except you probably want to make a right turn every now and then. Let's see you might have to make a right turn. Okay. Willie Mays passes away yesterday. I mean, Leroy, one of the best baseball players of all time. Fantastic player. He might have maybe the most recognizable moment in a World Series ever.
When the name is recognizable, but when you really start going into his stats, when you really start going into and looking at his numbers, I don't necessarily think there was a better 5-tool player in all of baseball. I mean, you can argue, and listen, baseball is one of those sports where you can make an argument for 20 guys to be at the top of their game. But Willie Mays is almost in a category of his own when you think about what he was able to accomplish in his time, not only defensively but with a bat as well. And of course, Willie Mays is the godfather of another superstar slugger, Barry Bonds. Yes. So, but again, when you look at what Willie Mays was able to do as far as just his, I mean, listen, he played 170 games against the Cubs, and I don't have the stat in front of me, but I think he batted 350 something against the Cubs in his all 170 games. Like, it's crazy when you look at what he was able to do stats wise. When you really start going into those numbers, we talk about these guys being legends. You talk about, Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays and Willie Stargell and Roberto Clemente. But when you really get into their numbers, my goodness, these guys were the best of the best when it came to the business. And Willie Mays was one of the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stretch there of, what was it, 23 straight years of an All-Star?
Yeah.
Like, that's I mean, ungodly. There's that too. I don't know what that was, but
my phone played it. I was trying to turn my phone volume off, and I caught a Facebook ad or something.
4 times, though, in his career, in a single year, he finished with an OPS over 1,000. That's ungodly. I mean, look at this. When he was 23 years old, he won the MVP in 1954. I mean, this line right here, he hit 345, slugged 667, an OPS of 1.078. OPS plus 175. I mean, just ungodly numbers. 13 triples that year. I mean, he had a career high in 1957 with 20 triples in one season. One of the all-time greats. And I mean, that's the saddest part is that I made the comment on social media yesterday, is he's one of those guys that, if we would ask the question, if you had a time machine and you could go back and watch one player in baseball history. Because I've seen a lot of great players, but I missed a lot of really good players as well. He might be the guy that I'd want to see play.
One thing that really sticks out for me is his strikeout numbers. And I know the game has changed a lot from what it was when he played, but his strikeout numbers are phenomenal. I mean, he never struck out. I mean, when you look at how many games he played and how many at-bats he had, I mean, in 1971, when he was 40 years old, he had 417 at-bats, walked 112, and struck out 123. I mean, listen,
and that's an on-base percentage of 425.
Correct. At 40 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 41. Sorry.
How old are you?
Am I? Hold on.
What year were you born?
Yes, 41. I'll be 42 in September.
Okay. My
goodness.
Are you sure you're not older than that?
Shut up.
So, I mean, but when he was your age, he hit 267.
Correct.
Leroy, what are you doing right now at 41? You're not hitting 267.
Not hitting 267. That's for darn sure.
I don't even think. Could you hit 267 against the high school kids?
Against the high school kids? Maybe.
You got a bad shoulder, though. There ain't no way. Could you swing a bat?
Could I swing a bat? Yeah, I just can't lift it over my head.
But I mean, he was an all-star at 42. You know, and some of that probably is that, it's
favoritism of the name.
Correct. And that should be. But you mentioned the strikeout thing. He played 3,005 games and struck out about 1,500 times, meaning that he struck out once every 2 games. Oh, yeah. Hi, I don't feel really the same about you, but hello. Or was that towards your wife? I don't know.
That was towards her, not towards you.
But rest in peace, Willie Mays. Absolutely one of the all-time greats. It was really sad to hear the news yesterday.
His best season was probably 1965. He had a line of 317, 645, 1.043. I mean, he had 52 home runs. Oh my goodness! And it was the MVP, All-Star, Gold Glove. I mean, it just dominated.
Yeah, absolutely one of the all-time greats. I don't know what your wife did, Leroy, but she feels like she's in trouble.
No, I just made a joke about how I called you jury duty.
Yes, she is jury duty apparently. And then, I don't really want to dive too much further into anything else. Yes, and Paul led right into it. What the heck is happening here?
With what? That?
Yes, because I had it saved.
That's peak Leroy.
I have so many questions. Questions.
Ask one.
No, I have more than that. Apparently, Paul wants to know, were you 14 when this picture was taken?
No, I was. So we've done the math on this. I was either 23 or 24.
Okay. What happened to your hair?
The Army took it.
Is that what we're calling it, Forrest? A specimen?
What?
And it's so weird, too, because it is rare that I see you without any facial hair.
Yeah.
It does. Could you even grow a beard then?
Probably not.
Who is right? Yeah, Leroy hair, right? I mean, look at that. And then is that an earring?
3 of them.
What did one Dave Clamola say when he saw that?
Well, Linda Clamola was thrilled. David Clamola, not so much.
I love it. I would have paid great money to have had the a reaction video of your dad when you came home looking like this.
Paul, I think you can attest that it's a good thing that YouTube and videos weren't really social media wasn't really a big thing when you and I were in our late teens, early 20s.
You'd have been a TikTok something.
Imagine
24 Leroy with hair.
Would have been
Lurpy.
Horrible.
Can we call you Lurpy from now on? I prefer that name.
No.
In fact, I think I have the power to edit your name on here. I might even have to. I think I have that power. Do I? Oh, I do. Do I want to change it to Lurpy for the rest of the game? But that feels pretty decent. The NBA Finals, Celtics win. I don't think that really surprised anybody at all, because I don't think none of the games were really close, were they?
There was the one game was
game one.
Wasn't yeah, game one was like somewhat close, but other than that, no. Celtics dominated in what was a very boring finals, and I'm with Paul. I didn't watch a single game either.
Yeah, the Mavs did win one game. Sorry, Chase. Chase is our Mavs fans.
And I agree with Forrest. I think Mavs were lucky to be there.
Yeah, I was surprised it was as bad as it was. Because even if you would have told me Celtics win in 5 games, like that would not have shocked me at all, because I think I predicted Celtics in 6.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised that they just boat raced them.
Yeah.
Boat raced them. And it wasn't even remotely close. But I don't think this really surprises anybody.
Celtics look like a well-oiled machine. I mean, they look like they had played 300 games.
Yeah, sorry, Lurpy. Poor Lurpy. You've been called worse, if we're being honest.
Well, that's true.
You've probably been called worse.
That's absolutely true.
Yes, absolutely. Than Lurpy.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing with it, is I think an argument could be made that the Mavs had the best player, but Luka didn't necessarily live up.
Ever since Luka had his beard taken away, he wasn't the same player.
Yeah.
Protect his beard, man.
Right? Mm-hmm. The NHL Finals getting maybe a little bit interesting. Edmonton, I found it hilarious that Game 4 they just decided, oh wait, we actually need to score. And what did they win? Like 35-1?
It was a lot to a little. That's for darn sure. The Florida Panthers jumped up by 3.
Hey, listen, where's the pat on the back for me knowing that?
I'm very proud of you. I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm very proud of you.
And Connor McDavid didn't score until Game 4. Like, what was he doing?
And he had a play in Game 5 that looked very. It looked like when Connor Bedard played against the Slovakian teams and just on rookie, but McDavid made it look easy. He was all over the place. So it was a fantastic. Edmonton's now down 3-2, which is a whole lot more doable as far as that series goes. But it's definitely become It looked like Florida was just going to do the same thing Boston was. But Edmonton's made this a series. It'll be interesting to see if the Oilers are able to complete the comeback. Hasn't happened since, I think, Toronto back in like 47. That a team was down 3-0 and came back and won.
Both games are in Florida now, right?
I believe so, yes.
Did Edmonton have any shot?
Yeah. So I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
There we go. There's our finals updates. We've done that. We've checked the box. You know what we didn't have on the list? WNBA. Here's our WNBA update.
I've got tidbits.
Okay. Is it about Cameron Brink?
Yes. So
I was very disappointed to hear about her. We just have to have at least a segment on the WNBA every single week.
Well, she will have more time now for her OnlyFans, which, I mean, what? No, but
Christy, are you still watching? What?
No, she says she's going to come back stronger than ever. But yeah, tore her ACL and she's done. By the way, as John brought up, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese has 2 flagrants. She's the only person on the entire Chicago Sky to have any flagrants, and they both come against Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Did you see the play?
Yes, and if the thing is, if that play would have happened, if it would have been Angel Reese against any other player in the WNBA, it would have been a flagrant.
Yeah. Okay.
Without question, it was a flagrant foul. It was.
Yeah.
You hit somebody in the head. It's a flagrant.
Go for the ball.
And that's the question. I don't know that anyone will actually know whether that there was any intent. It didn't necessarily look like it.
I don't necessarily think that Angel Reese is super dirty when it comes. I don't think she likes Caitlin Clark.
I don't think so either. And let me. Can I take a guess here, Leroy? I'm just making a prediction. One, Christy Clamola despises Angel Reese. Am I correct?
I don't know. I don't think she's too fond of her.
Okay. I was gonna say, I just feel like Christy, being the Caitlin Clark fan,
yes,
is not a fan of one Angel Reese. But there we go. There's our WNBA update. We've checked that off.
You didn't play the music though, so I was very disappointed.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's here. That's right. I forgot that we did. We have our
WNBA. Yeah, there you go.
It is. Okay.
I'll
be better next week. I'll be better. Probably not. I'll forget about it as well. Madden, the 99 Club has been released, right, Leroy?
Yes, 99 Club is out, and we have those names for you. Some interesting ones and some ones that obviously we kind of expected. But Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Although if you go by the comments, the only reason Travis Kelce is on there is because they couldn't give Taylor Swift a 99.
Yeah. Listen, you know me. I'm not a fan of Travis Kelce. I've been open about that. I don't understand why he's a 99.
I don't either.
Is that me being a hater, or is that me being legit?
And maybe the comments can justify his 99.
Because
but everyone else, you make a valid argument. Everyone else on that list, you can make a valid argument. But I was going to agree with John here and say, what snubs should have been a 99 that weren't?
And see, so again, it was Mahomes, 99, yes. McCaffrey,
CMC,
absolutely.
Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know that there are any big ones. And I mean, I agree. Like, what I think 94 is probably, I would say if you would have told me to guess Kelce, I would have probably guessed 94 or 95. Like, would have been my guess when it comes to that. I mean, I'm trying to think who would be in the 99.
Being popular, and that being popular got him the 99. Because let's face it, I'm with John. He isn't even. I don't necessarily think he's the best tight end in the league.
I mean, you're looking at this and saying, is it like a Myles Garrett? Would he deserve to be in the 99 club? Or I'm trying to think of somebody like that on the defensive side of the ball. If you're just trying to throw somebody in there in that realm.
Are there any defensive players? Because this is all offense. Are there any defensive players that deserve that 99.
Garrett is the first one that comes to mind there. I refuse. Sorry, Forrest. My comment is broken. I can't put that comment on the screen. I don't know why. My machine's
I'll
broken.
put it up there. Forrest said TJ Watt. Forrest said TJ Watt probably deserves a 99.
TJ Watt's up. I can't say that word on this podcast, Leroy. But sorry, John. Comment's broken.
Okay,
It's broken.
Sam.
It's broken. I don't know. If anyone else deserves it, it's Jamar Chase. You're right, Forrest. Jamar Chase does deserve it. But that's also my question is like, who's 98? Is Chase 98? But then also, if we're being honest, Leroy, I find it hilarious how mad this makes fans, but also how mad it makes the players.
Yes.
Because I love the videos.
Some of the players like print off they print a sheet that's got their stats on there and they post it on their locker.
Yeah, Chase 96, that's probably pretty accurate, Forrest. But I also love when they have the videos that they release where they ask the players, what's your Madden rating? And they say, and John, if Anthony Richardson is a 99 next year, I don't even know what I'll do. Leroy, I do.
Will AR
I do not
play all 17 games this year?
No. Leroy, I despise tomatoes. Hate them.
Yes.
Hate them.
Yes,
it's my least favorite thing. If Anthony Richardson is a 99 next year, I will eat a tomato live on this podcast.
Oh.
That will make me sick. That will make me sick. That will make me sick.
Come on. I am rooting for that 99. Because I tell you what, we got the hot dog eating contest coming up in a couple weeks. Oh man, we are excited.
Again, how many hot dogs do you say you're eating?
8 in 10 minutes.
I mean, honestly, now we were thinking about it. I don't think Lamar's a 99, but he would be probably another one that would potentially be in the conversation of just being something in there. The hot dog contest is dead. No, John, it is alive.
If the hot dog, it doesn't. You've missed the last couple of weeks, John. It doesn't matter if the hot dog contest is dead. From the Pressbox hot dog contest is very much alive and will be taking place in a couple of weeks on July 4th.
It's not a contest, remember. It is a quest.
That's because you chickened out.
No, because there's no way I'm eating 8 hot dogs. I fully admit that. If I get 4 down in 10 minutes, I'm going to be happy with myself. See, right now I'm trying to have, speaking of that, I have a, you know what I get to do on Monday?
Josh,
I'm really excited about this.
Josh, he doesn't think I can eat 8 in 10 minutes. I was like, 8's easy.
No shot.
8's easy.
None. You know what I get to do on Monday? You know what's coming into my town?
What? Oscar Mayer Wiener?
Yep, the Oscar Mayer Wiener reveal.
You got to get a whistle, man.
my boss texted me a couple weeks ago and says, "Hey, we need to do a radio remote. Will you do it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Wait, is that the day the Wienermobile is coming?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "It is in my contract that I get to drive it, and if I can't drive it, I at least get to ride in it." I'm hoping. And listen, I
need my selfie. I need your selfie from inside the.
Oh, listen, I'm going to get a tour. And apparently, so they sent us an email of Forrest thinks your over under is 10.5. Wow. Or is that for you, Forrest? Because listen, if anybody wants to join us that day, 2 weeks from tonight, and I mean, it'll have to be the honor system. Or maybe we'll bring people on the show or something if anybody wants to join us. Just be a bunch of people trying to shovel as many hot dogs as they can. He's setting it for you at 10.5. And John says you could apparently fit 10 in your mouth at once. But the driver is somebody that I might get to interview on the radio.
Awesome.
You know what his name is?
What?
I feel like you're going to hate this.
Oh,
Captain Glizzy.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. That's awful.
Captain Glizzy.
Yuck. That's great.
But yes, great. I'm thrilled that I potentially get the chance.
Somebody mentioned college football a little bit earlier.
Yes.
And I laughed. I laughed because one of the guys on the internet today said that Madden is going to outsell college football. And honestly, I can't see this year especially, that Madden will outsell, especially in America, There's no way Madden's going to outsell college football this year. Maybe worldwide, but definitely not in America, right? Am I crazy?
I'm buying college football, but will not buy Madden. Will not buy Madden.
Yeah.
And listen, I am going to play that game a ton when it comes out. In fact, I'm still going back and forth, Leroy, and we can have this discussion on air because why not? That's what this podcast is for. I'm still going back and forth whether I want to upgrade to a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever they're calling it now.
No, man, you gotta go. You gotta stick with what works, man. PS5.
We'll see, but I had it. I have an Xbox 360.
I do
because I mean, system wise, I went Game Boy, GameCube, Wii, Xbox 360, PS4,
PS1, PS2, 360, PS4.
So Paul and John both say get the PS5, but I also have friends.
Thank you.
I have friends who have the Xbox. You know, like Mick, my co-host of Jungle Juice. He has an Xbox.
Oh, mix.
I have a. Okay, look, Forrest is on Team Xbox as well. I don't know. I feel like if we're being honest, though, there's really no difference. You know, it's just the controller.
Easy. That's Sam Gormley.
It's just the controller. There's really no difference. But crossplay is not in NCAA football as well.
Not this year.
Not yet.
It will be, but not yet.
Not yet. Atari, Nintendo, Genesis, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I'm the same as Paul, except I did not have a PS3. I got a free Xbox 360, and that trumped getting anything else. So I had.
And I mean, when I was looking into buying the new one, it said, you know, oh, you can trade in your PS4 for $50. Like, I'm just gonna keep it at that point.
Right. What am I gonna trade?
Yeah, like $50. Listen, Wii is a fantastic system.
Wii bowling,
fantastic.
100 pins.
Oh,
you ever do the 100 pins on Wii bowling?
Absolutely. Mario Kart is a great system. But yes, Genesis, PS1, PS2, 360, PS4.
And out of all of those, why was PS2 the best one?
He liked the Wii, but never had it. Why was PS2 the best one?
I don't know, man. Gaming went through a weird time when PS2 was around. It seemed like there were no rules on what games could come out. I mean, there was. I had Playboy the Mansion for a game on PlayStation. It was like The Sims, but it was an adult version. It was pretty great.
Did Dave Clamola know you had that game?
We don't talk about that. That's not important. But PS2, listen, PS2 was one of the greatest gaming consoles of all time.
I mean, listen, if we're talking about great intro music, the little GameCube, I can't even. I'm hearing it now in my head though. But I mean, the Wii was great though too because it was so iconic, or next level and everything because people had no idea what to do. I still remember trying to teach my grandparents how to use it. And they still use it. Nintendo 64 as well. But it's fine.
James Bond, the 007.
Oh yeah. I had
the
that
game. Love the game, but 007 makes me sick every time I play it.
I have that. We had that for GameCube. Had that for GameCube. Yeah, Game Boy.
What was with the center thing on the N64 controller?
Yeah, you had to hold it really weird.
Weird little yeah.
Yeah.
And no one was allowed to play with Oddjob. No Oddjob.
We're getting way too. We're getting way too nostalgic. How about a little Who Am I for this week here?
All right, let's get
if you've never joined this week's this segment, I have got 6 clues this week to try and save it. You just got to tell me who I am. It's really pretty simple. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
I played 22 seasons in the MLB. I played 22 seasons in the MLB.
Willie Mays.
No. I considered it, but I was like, no, it's too obvious. It's too obvious. No. Thanks, John. Thanks. I appreciate that. At least I'm not LARPy. I went to USC, where I was also a member of the basketball. I went to USC, where I was also a member of the basketball team.
John says Babe Ruth every single time because that's the only baseball player he knows.
Chase, you freaking suck. Shut up, Chase. Well, it's over now.
Wow.
You're no fun. I should have just held back.
See,
okay, let's see, Leroy, how many clues it would have taken you to get Randy Johnson is the correct answer. Number 3, I originally quit baseball early in my professional career after my dad's death, only for my mom to convince me to continue playing. Okay. Would you have gotten it on that?
No, but that should have been like yeah.
I hold the MLB record for most strikeouts in a relief appearance with 16.
In a relief appearance?
16 strikeouts in relief.
Whew.
I am one of 21 pitchers in MLB history to defeat every team once.
I might have gotten it from that.
I was the first to wear a Diamondbacks hat in the Hall of Fame.
Cool.
It is not Ron Jeremy. It is not Ron Jeremy.
Oh, go away, Brewer.
I found this really interesting. Of the players that have defeated every single team.
Yeah.
And the active players that have defeated every single team, can you name any of them? There are 4 active players that have defeated every single team in Major League Baseball. There are 4 active players. One did it in 2016, one did it in 19, one did it in 21, and one did it last year.
I'm horrible
against the Reds.
Against the Reds.
No, it is not Shohei. Max Scherzer is 1, Forrest. You've gotten that correct. He did it in 2016 as a national. He defeated the Tigers, which makes sense because that was the team that he was formerly on. There are 3 more.
Yeah, Verlander.
Verlander and Greinke are 2. Verlander did it last year. Yeah. Verlander did it last year. The last team he defeated, the Reds. I had no idea. I don't remember that happening. Cole Hamels, not a bad guess, John. That's not a bad guess. Let's see if he's on. Okay, he's not has at least 26 wins. So the last one is actually not a very old guy. Garrett Cole.
Oh. Yeah, because Cole pitched for the Pirates.
Yep, and it makes sense. So this one found interesting. So there are right now 5 guys that are 1 win away. So 5 active guys that have defeated 29 teams currently. Yu Darvish.
Yep.
Who's the one team Yu Darvish has not beaten?
What, the Yankees?
Somewhat close. The Orioles.
Really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, when you think about it, and Forrest, that would have probably been my guess. But
yeah.
It's just, and I found this very interesting. So Lance Lynn is also on this list, which I never would have guessed him. The Rangers, makes sense. You know, he pitched for the Rangers. Wade Miley, not defeated the Yankees. Charlie Morton, this one makes sense.
Yeah.
The Pirates.
Yep.
Marcus Stroman, you can probably guess this one. Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I found it very interesting going in this and diving it. And then you see some just random guys that are on this list, like Kevin Gossman. 28 teams he's defeated. But Chris Bassett, never gotten the Cubs. Never gotten them. But I don't know. I just found this very interesting when I was going down the rabbit hole of it. And then you get a guy who's pitched for like 75 years, like Rich Hill, who's only defeated 26 teams. But I don't know.
Which is crazy because Rich Hill's played for like 14 teams.
Oh, yeah. And he's played in both leagues and so on. He only pitched for 85 years. I mean, he would have been a good who am I? Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 teams. Pitched for 15 teams.
Yeah.
And he also has.
They had him go through and see if he could remember his like transaction list, if he could go through, and he got it, but it took him a minute.
Who did he make his MLB debut with?
The Cubs.
Yeah. What's his nickname?
Old Man River? I don't know.
Oh, he has a great nickname. I think Chase knows his nickname. He'll probably comment up. You know, he is the only pitcher in Major League Baseball history to have a perfect game broken up by a ninth inning fielding error.
Ouch. Ouch.
Can you imagine? I don't know who the guy that committed the error.
Can you imagine going into the locker room after the game is done?
Yes. Oh, I wonder who this guy was. And then also, I found it interesting. Back to Randy Johnson. You know what team originally drafted Randy Johnson, but he didn't sign?
I've heard this one.
And I'll ask this question and give our comment section a chance.
Yeah, I've heard this one, but I don't remember the answer.
Rich Hill's nickname too is Dick Mountain.
That's
Randy Johnson, Paul. What team was Randy Johnson originally drafted by but did not sign? Are you Googling it right now?
Logan Forsythe, by the way, was the player who
who made the error?
Was the player who had the error.
Oof. Gosh, can you imagine? Not the Red Sox. I'm seeing if there's one person who I feel like if somebody knows, it would be that person. It's the Atlanta Braves.
Ah.
Sorry, Paul. Could have had him. He was. Paul Chase is right. He was drafted by the Atlanta Braves originally.
He also lost the game.
What's that? He also lost the game?
Yeah. Rich Hill's heartbreak was doubly painful. It was against the Pirates. Not only did he lose a perfect game in the ninth inning due to an error in the field, but he lost the no-hitter and the game when he surrendered a Josh Harrison walk-off home run to lead off the 10th inning at PNC Park. In the 1-0 loss, Hill struck out 10.
Brutal. Yes, he was drafted by the Braves originally, Paul, but never did sign, which is I found this. That's the one thing I like about doing these 2MIs, because I find out these very interesting facts that I had no idea were things. Like Randy Johnson was originally drafted by the Braves and so on. And also he has the MLB record for most strikeouts at a relief appearance with 16.
Crazy.
You got some tidbits?
I do have some tidbits. NBA draft is coming up. 24 players were picked for the green room to show up for the NBA draft. Charlie Woods, 15-year-old son of Tiger, is going to his first USGA championship on Wednesday. They had the leading score among qualifiers for the U.S. Junior Amateur at Oakland Hills. Let's see. We talked about Cameron Brink already. Detroit Pistons fired Monty Williams after one season, absorbing the remaining $65 million on the contract. Boy, I wish I could get fired and get paid $65 million to go away. Woo!
Let's be real. You'd go away for $65.
That is true. That is true. The NCAA is talking about expanding the tournament by 8 to 10 teams. I know Sam is thrilled about that one. Owners of the NFL are considering a salary cap for quarterbacks. They are tired of quarterbacks being paid a ton of money, and they're considering a salary cap for that. NASCAR's Daniel Suarez got his citizenship this week. He earned his dual citizenship as he moved. And, of course, the comment section for NASCAR was absolutely wonderful when they showed the pictures of.
I'm a little annoyed that you brought this up, and here's the reason why. Because I memorized his face because I was expecting you to use him in drivers. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him if he pops up." Paul, I'm drinking apple juice. No,
I promise.
Cougar Bait. It's a Kentucky beer. It's very delicious.
I promise you that Suarez is not in today's drivers. I promise you.
Paul, we had illegal pricing.
Other than that, the Olympics are coming up, so we're excited. We're excited for that. So that's what's coming up.
About a month away, right?
Yeah,
give or take. So yeah, I'm ready for the Olympics. I know we talked about that as well last week. You know what we're also very excited about, Leroy?
What?
It's time to cue the music.
Cue the music. Let me hide my comments so I don't.
Everyone's favorite
Forrest's answer.
Leroy's logos. Again, if you've never joined in the show,
I do not want to talk about Nolan Siegel or Teo Porcher because McLaren's contracts are worth about as much as toilet paper.
Let's take that and let's bottle it up when we get into the racing, and you can talk about it then. Okay? It's okay. Take a deep breath. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's time for Lurpy's logos. I give Lurpy. Remember that we're doing Throwback Month, so we're continuing that today. Where I have 4 throwback logos for Leroy. Leroy, you're hitting 385. Last week you got 2 out of 4. Are you ready?
Let's go.
1, 2, 3 o 4. He's going with dos.
Oh! Why does it
This
look like
one,
it looks like it's pooping?
this one is from 1972. 1972, Leroy's logos throwback edition. How do you feel?
I feel confident.
That's sometimes not a good thing. Okay, so do I turn off the music? Okay. What is it?
That is the Maryland Terrapins.
Correct. Maryland is the correct answer. I saw that both Forrest and Chase and John and even Paul and everybody got that right in the comment section. So clearly, I'm going too easy. Clearly, I'm going too easy. Okay. 1, 3, or 4?
4.
4. Number 4. I think that's the first time John ever got one. Is it? I think it is. Like, in all seriousness, I think it was the first one John ever got. How do you feel about this one here? $1973 is when you go back to this one here. What are you thinking?
So,
alrighty, we got the comment section. Let's see. I mean, I can give you John's again to see if you think he's on a hot streak. John's is the only one I'm going to give you right now into the comment section. What is this throwback logo, Leroy? Do you have a guess?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is Oklahoma State. The Cowboys. So close. Forrest, Chase, Jalen. Oh, pull it out. Alrighty. Ugh, I feel it for you. I thought this was going to be the week. 1 or 3? This one, we're going back to 1947 for this one.
Did your mom draw that thing?
No, I can tell you this. My mom would have never had a shot at drawing that, and she'd fully admit that. My dad, maybe, but no. And also, why are you saying that my mother was alive in 1947?
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, my. No, I think that's exactly what you said. Oh, wow. Comment section's all over the place on this one.
Really?
All over the place.
Interesting.
What are you thinking? Let's talk through your thought process here.
Because I think it's Penn State.
You think it's Penn State?
I do.
Does this make you feel better? What?
No. That does not make me feel better.
Is that going to be your final answer?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. I'll let you see the other comments. So sorry, Paul, you're wrong there. Forrest originally said FIU. That's wrong. Chase, you're wrong. John, you're wrong. Forrest said, oh, yeah, Penn State's right. Nope, that's incorrect. You're in the right state again, Leroy. That's Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Panthers from 1947.
This is a stupid game.
Listen, throwback rights. You fool. John is right. You should never go with his answer. Never go in with his answer.
That's not even fair, because, like, Penn State uses this. Listen, if you're all going to come from Northwestern, doesn't have the same colors as Illinois.
And the final one for Leroy's logos for this week. I think I might have to. Or I usually have a white piece.
It's not big enough. Oh, wait. I got it.
Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
And this is actually how it goes. This one is from the 1980s. This logo was used. How are you feeling on this one?
Not good. Not good.
Well, here's what Paul said to his guess. Okay. Leroy, what is this one? We'll say comment section is on fire today. Any guesses? Nothing coming to mind?
Well, okay, so Xavier and Virginia were two teams that came to my mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of any other, like, musketeer or cavalier or some kind of, like... Shut up! You have anything good to say, Reeves? God, you're a dick. Yeah, I suck at this. This is well established. I don't know why we're all like, oh, Leroy can't figure out logos. I've never been able to figure out logos. Were you kidding me?
You got a guess?
No.
You got a 50-50 chance, I'll tell you that.
I got 50-50?
I'm feeling nice today.
Virginia. No. Xavier.
Is that your Xavier is your final answer?
Yes. It's a stupid game. Was it Virginia?
Yes. It was Virginia. Oh, one of these weeks, maybe. One of these weeks. 383, Leroy, which is still good. How about some play clock?
I just would like to say, because Sam irritated me, happy Kyle Farnsworth Day.
Happy Kyle? Why did I irritate you? What did I do?
Happy Kyle Farnsworth Day.
Is that the anniversary of that today?
Yes.
No. I always hated Kyle Farnsworth because in my old baseball game, so they made in the baseball games on my GameCube in about 04, 05, you had to keep your players happy for some reason. Like it had, and if they were unhappy, it would affect their performance. And I think that's in most of the games, but I remember no matter what you did for Kyle Farnsworth and LaTroy Hawkins, you could not make them happy.
LaTroy Hawkins.
Yeah, those two guys. Because I remember I would get so mad because they would be mad that no one would sign them in free agency. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sign you because you're mad. Like you always are mad. But LaTroy Hawkins and Kyle Farnsworth were the two that were.
LaTroy was a Rich Hill, man. He played for like 18 teams, man.
Oh yeah. And I remember that I think it was the 05 game was the first time that you could get ejected as a manager.
Sam's out there every 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. But it was the bad part is when you got ejected, obviously you couldn't then Carl Crawford. There's a good throwback for you. You couldn't run your team anymore. So you'd be playing the game, but they could randomly LaTroy Hawkins definitely played for the Twins. They would pinch hit for you at random times because your bench coach would take over. And I remember it would drive me crazy because, you had no control over it anymore.
Hawkins did play for the Twins for a while. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he was with the Cubs too, wasn't he, for a minute?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he played for a ton of teams. And how many teams did he play for? Let's see. Does it say here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams. So he played for 12 teams. Originally started with the Twins, Twins, Cubs, Giants, Orioles, Rockies, Yankees, Astros, Brewers, Angels, Mets, Rockies, Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Hawkins is a commentator and works in our front office. Oh, I didn't know that he worked for the. Actually, I did know that he worked for the Twins. I think I saw that. How about some play clock? Would you like to ask or answer first?
I will ask first. You ready?
Yes.
So it's funny that you were talking about LaTroy Hawkins. Not that this was my guy, but the question I was going to ask you is I saw a Twitter post today, or an X post, depending on whose side you're on.
It's Twitter.
Thank you. Nobody understands the lifelong bond between a boy and the mediocre MLB player he watched when he was 10. So let me ask you, Sam, who is the mediocre player that you were attached to when you were 10 years old?
So I guess it's 2007. Let me just look up here the 2007 Reds.
Look up the 07 roster
of the 2007 Reds, because I know I always really liked. I'm seeing if he was on this team. I always really liked the Reds backup catcher Javier Valentin. Okay. He was a switch hitter, and I don't know why, but his stats pinch hitting was fantastic, and I remember I always just really liked him. And there's probably no reason for me to actually like him. But yeah, there you go. If you want just a random name, Javier Valentin.
Mine was Ray Sanchez. Ray Sanchez played for the Cubs in like 91. Back in the 90s, they had flip glasses. You would like flip down the sunglasses, and I don't know. Ray Sanchez was cool, man.
Now that I'm saying this, I forgot that I was going to make this one of your play clock questions. So I want to. It was a question that it's not going to be play clock, but just really quick of a name that comes to mind is they asked if this guy was playing today, he would be one of the best players or he would be one of the most sought after guys, just based on the rule changes and so on. And I saw Chase bring up the name Adam Dunn. And that was a name of just somebody who came to mind of being a guy that would be elite in today's game.
Early Kyle Schwarber type character.
Yeah, he would be Kyle Schwarber today. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah,
Dunn was Schwarber before Schwarber.
Exactly.
He got a hold of a ball. It went a long. I mean, I remember him hitting a home run one time that made my neck hurt watching it on TV. I'm telling you.
Yeah, great
beast, man.
Great nickname too. Do you know what Adam Dunn's nickname is?
I probably do, but tell me again.
The Big Donkey.
No, I didn't know that.
and I don't know. I feel like I know the backstory, but I've forgotten as to why he's referred to as the Big Donkey. But great baseball nickname. Leroy, I feel like one of the favorite conversations for people to have is about GOATs. And I feel like if we're being honest, is, in hockey, it's probably Gretzky. In basketball, it's LeBron or it's Jordan, depending on who you want to ask. It's one of those two. In the NFL, it's probably Brady. But to me, in baseball, there's not an answer. Leroy, you're going to make the answer right now. Who is the greatest of all time in the game of baseball?
The problem is there's no answer I get. Everyone's going to have a comment on answers that I give.
I feel like it's the only sport that's the answer.
Right. So, greatest of all time. Gosh. Honestly, it's probably Jackie Robinson. And you know what? Ask me in a week, and I'll probably give you a different answer. But Robinson was in a class all by himself as far as the way he played the game, as far as the stats that he put up. But yeah, I mean, and the thing is I'm with Chase. You could argue. I mean, my initial answer was Greg Maddux, but Maddux doesn't have the postseason that makes him. If Maddux wins 2 or 3 World Series of those '90s teams, I mean, you're putting him on that list. I mean, you can make an argument for a lot. You can make an argument for Willie Mays.
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked this question today, because I think an argument could be made for him. I mean, you can make an argument for him. I mean, listen, 100%. You could make it for who am I today? Randy Johnson. Yep. Dude was legit freak.
Yep.
A freak.
Absolutely.
Babe Ruth, where does he rank in that? But I saw it was a list of ESPN, and I don't even remember when it was. It was a couple of years ago, did a list of the top 100 baseball players of all time. Number 1 was Babe Ruth. Number 2 was Willie Mays. And I should find that list here really quick while we're talking about it, because that actually probably would have been a good topic for us to dive into today.
If Roberto Clemente doesn't die on that plane crash, you might be putting Roberto in that conversation as well.
So here it is. This is done 2.5 years ago by ESPN. So here's their top 5 of their top 5 greatest players of all time. Number 5, Ted Williams.
Yep, easily.
Can't disagree. Number 4, Ty Cobb. Hard to disagree. Number 3, Hank Aaron.
Oh my gosh, Hank.
Willie Mays, Babe Ruth. That's their top 5.
Yep.
And it is hard to
you can't argue. I mean, you can argue with that list, but those are 5 names that all 5 of those you could argue as being the best. I mean, all 5 of those.
6th is Gehrig, 7th is Mantle, 8th is Bonds, 9th is Walter Johnson, who, I mean, only 417 wins, 2.17 ERA.
Walter Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best modern day pitcher they have? Pedro. He's really good. Pedro Martinez, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I found it to be, it's an interesting discussion because I think baseball is the one sport that there's not an answer. Because I mean, basketball, it's LeBron or it's Jordan. It's one, like, you can make the clear argument for one of those two.
Yep.
Hockey, it's Gretzky, right?
Yep.
NFL, it's Brady.
Football, you can make the argument for Montana. Sorry.
Yeah, but okay, it's 2 guys. But in baseball, you could make an argument for 10 guys.
Yes, but John, the argument about Babe Ruth is Babe Ruth played only against white players in an era where the competition maybe was not as good as what it would have been later on. And that's one of the biggest, when you get Babe Ruth haters, that's one of the biggest arguments that his detractors make is the competition that he was up against. But listen, you got a guy who could pitch well and hit well. And even back then, guys weren't doing that.
Here's the question for you, Leroy.
That's why you can make the argument that Babe Ruth was one of the greatest of all time because of what he was able to do, even for his time frame.
Well, they weren't. He was the best of that time frame.
Right.
But it was a different era.
And the game was slightly different as well.
I'm fascinated by, if we had this conversation in 10 years, is Shohei in the conversation?
If he puts up another 10 good years, I'm interested to see how he comes back if he pitches again.
No.
So
I don't think so.
I don't either, but
I don't think so. Why would
his health will determine a lot about where we stack him in 10 years. His health.
I'm ready to answer your question too. We spent more time on mine there.
All right. So I saw another thing today that was talking about the greatest rivalries in all of sports. All right. I have a couple in my head of what I feel are the greatest rivalries in sports, but I'm going to ask you, what do you feel? And it could be any sport. What is the greatest rivalry in all of sports?
Tell you what I am going to do is I'm going to use my couple of seconds here for a little bit of an off my chest because it drives me up the wall. You say about Yankees, Red Sox, but it absolutely drives me crazy that every single time they play, it's Sunday Night Baseball. Like, can we not just switch it up?
You are too young to remember back in the 90s, man. But
where it was nasty. Yeah.
It was every weekend.
It drives me crazy that it is with that. But I think Chase's answer is right. Grayson County, Edmonson County. The Tobacco Bowl. It is nasty. Nasty. But there's so many good ones. Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Louisville. And then I love the ones that no one knows about, too, that make rivalry so great.
You know what the answer was on the one that I saw today?
Was it not Yankees, Red Sox?
It was not. It was Reds, Pirates.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, the anniversary is today of some big fight that you guys had with the Pirates. Apparently, today is the anniversary of.
Is it the Amir Garrett one?
It might be. It might be.
It's about the right time of year. Yeah, that might be.
And that was just baseball. They were just talking about baseball rivalries, but I was like, Reds Pirates, really?
John, you could just say the AFC North as a rivalry because all four of those teams hate one another without question. Okay, I have a different one here for you, Leroy.
Oh boy,
Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna bring it out here for you. You love them, I know you do. Your Mount Rushmore of TV/movie. You could combine. You could go either way. I don't care. Villains. Your Mount Rushmore of the best TV/movie villains. Whichever way you want to go. If you combine it, take it one or the other. I'll leave it up to you.
I can't do this in 40 seconds, man.
That's the challenge.
Why am I pulling up the biggest blank right now, man? I watch too many sitcoms. Francis on Deadpool. I don't.
None?
I don't have a good enough answer for you, man. I failed you.
Wow.
All right, Darth Vader.
Okay, there you go.
Darth Vader is a big one.
Can I drop one here for you?
Yes, please.
Gus Fring.
Who's that?
You never seen Breaking Bad?
No.
Wow. Need to. Fantastic show. Fantastic show. I agree with Paul. Heath Ledger's Joker. Yeah. Needs to be on the list. Voldemort.
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Yeah.
Great one. Yeah, you need to watch Breaking Bad. Yeah. Gus Fring is one of the villains in Breaking Bad. And Giancarlo Esposito, who plays him, is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal.
The so you're too young to remember this movie, but there was a movie called The Rocketeer. That was back in the 90s. It was a horrible movie, but the guy that used to play James Bond stars as the villain in that one, and he freaked me out so much as a kid. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, and then the sheriff of Nottingham for who was it?
Robin Hood?
Yeah, in Robin Hood. God dang, I can't think of his name. He played Snape in Harry Potter.
Oh, Alan Rickman? Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman. And then Alan Rickman, of course, played the bad guy in Die Hard. So.
Yep. Rest in peace, too. Rest in peace. Paul
Paul. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Watch Rocketeer.
Paul knows.
I love that because there's so many good villains. And it's just a fantastic conversation. You got some drivers?
Yeah. Sam loves telling this story, but I played the sheriff of Nottingham in a certain play about Robin Hood back in the day, and I got booed by 2,000 elementary school kids from Bowling Green, Kentucky. So it worked out pretty well. 1, 2, or 3, Sam.
I wish I had the picture at the ready. Because I took a classic picture of you.
You don't though.
You're
getting one.
It's not that one. It's not that one, but it's
not that one.
I don't know.
That's still a pretty good one.
One is fine. Alrighty, let's pull it up here. Daniel Suarez. No, I haven't seen it yet. Ooh, that guy looks. Was that the XXX movie you started? Oh, that guy kind of looks. It's like the Wish.com Jamie McMurray. I'm gonna say that's a Formula One driver. But now that worries me that John said the same thing.
John picked F1.
I feel like I should change to Indy, but I'm going to go with my gut.
Well, you should have changed it because
Changed to
that
Indy.
is
I
a
knew it when John
IndyCar
said
driver.
F1. I knew I should have changed to Indy. I knew it.
That is willpower. He is an IndyCar driver. He snapped a long losing streak, picked up his first win in 2.5 years.
Interesting. Okay, hit me up with this next one here. That dude's a cheesing. I know he's not a NASCAR driver.
Okay.
Because that's not Bubba. That's not Lewis Hamilton, I don't think.
It is not Lewis Hamilton.
I'm going to say he's an F1 driver.
The final answer?
Yeah.
Yes. That's Daniel Ricciardo, who is happy all the time, even when he's mad. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
is he
I'm
washed
gonna
up?
ask you. I'm going to ask you to shut off the comments because Chase is going to be an asshole on this next one.
Okay. I usually go full screen when it happens anyway, so I'll give an answer before the comment section even has it.
Okay.
Is that the guy from Malcolm in the Middle?
That is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, did he race in NASCAR? Or is he ARCA or something?
Yeah.
I guess. Is it really the guy from Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah, he's racing ARCA, yeah.
So is that the answer?
Yeah, you got
it. Okay.
That's Frankie Muniz.
I was going to say, I was assuming.
I told you to shut off the comments because Chase was going to, I know Chase was going to ruin it.
So I got it right then without even knowing. I just was like, that guy is the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
No, it's not NASCAR. It's ARCA. Okay. So look at me go there before he even pulled it up. I was like, that guy looks way too familiar to be anything with that. He looks like the guy with that bad show on Fox. He just signed a truck deal.
I thought he just signed a deal. Yeah.
Interesting. Speaking of NASCAR, are you ready for the?
He really is a good driver. He really. I mean, if he can get a decent car under him, he'll be all right.
Are you ready for the update on the NASCAR pick contest?
I am. This is getting tight.
Is it? I don't know. It's about to say. So finally, let's go in and let's just drop in the standings from last week. At Iowa, the winner from last week was Leroy.
That's right.
With 34 points. He beat me by 1 point. In third place is Paul with 13 points. And in fourth place, coming in now in the last 2 weeks with a combined 4 points in the last 2 weeks, is Mr. Chase Blaine. So good job, Chase. 4 points the last 2 weeks. Good job, bud. Honestly, that's almost hard to do, and it's impressive that you've gotten 4 points the last 2 weeks after, in the previous 2 weeks, getting 90 points. John, you've missed the last 2 weeks. The standings overall are in first place with 477 points, Paul Reeves.
What'd you think of that little of
4 points is what
Larson last week, Chase?
4 points is what ESPN told me, Chase. I'll look it up again, but that's what ESPN told me. In second place with 469 points was myself.
Stupid phone, sorry.
In third place with 443 is Leroy. 397 Chase, 312 John, 299 Tyler, Luke 110, Bert at 17. Chase, if you can change it, but I'm looking it up again, but it said that he had 4 points. That's at least what ESPN said. Okay, it's now changed to 22. Okay. So I take back my snide comment. Not really, but now I got to check here all of these standings to see if I was too early on any of these. Okay, let's look at it again. Christopher Bell, 33. Leroy, you got a little bit more because I think you took Chase Elliott, right? You did. So you got 44. So I guess I was a little bit early in picking before they updated it all. And Paul, you had Denny Hamlin. I got to recheck this. Denny Hamlin, 18 points. Okay, so this is going to change all of our standings here. Okay, so the updated standings.
Wow. Do I have to go back and check all of the recent weeks? Make sure you did this right.
Paul 482, I'm
469.
469, Leroy 453, Chase 416, and so on. This week, you are ahead of Leroy. Paul, you are ahead 29 points. 29 points ahead of Leroy. I am 13 points behind you, Paul. So it's coming up. This week, they are at New Hampshire.
They are. And I'll tell you that Martin Truex Jr. was last year's winner.
He was. Leroy, is that who you're picking?
No.
I'm taking Denny Hamlin.
I'll go with
Chase takes Christopher Bell. Everyone is eligible to pick whoever they want to, except technically Luke, but he's not watching. He can't take Logano. Do you have a pick?
I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski.
Bad Brad. I think he might be the first one to pick. No, okay. John picked Keselowski, or Paul picked Keselowski one race earlier. Paul's picking Truex. John, if you have a pick, Leroy, I'm curious.
For what?
Do you do research to pick?
No. Usually I just go with my gut.
He's bringing a Red Sox card this week. Interesting. I didn't know that. John, if you have a pick, you can drop it in there. Or if not, don't. We don't care.
If we were doing this for IndyCar, I'd do a whole lot of research on last year's winners and how good they're trending, and if it's an oval versus a road course. But NASCAR, I'm kind of just, who do I feel like taking for the week? I know Truex announced he's retiring. He's had a fantastic career, but it's one more guy that is kind of a, not necessarily a household name, but it's another big name that NASCAR is running into a little bit of, at least to me, is running into a little bit of identity problem as far as finding drivers that are household names.
Haven't they been doing that for about the last 10 years?
Well, yeah, and somebody was making a comment about how they switch their liveries too much for people to keep track and people to follow, but I don't necessarily know about that. I enjoy all the different paint schemes and things like that. I like them.
John, I did have you down for Logano. You've made 11 picks this year, and I think 7 of them have been Joey Logano. So clearly you have a...
he's got a favorite.
He does. Is that his favorite, or is that the only one he knows?
That's the real question right there.
Hey, you were mad about something racing?
Oh, so what I was talking about earlier, and Chase was the one who brought it up. I don't, is the fact that Aaron McLaren, which is obviously a very popular racing brand in F1, in the last couple of years has really came into IndyCar, but they've really been kind of wishy-washy on their contracts. They had issues with almost every driver that they've signed, and sometimes they cut ties in the weirdest way. Well, Nolan Siegel, who didn't qualify for the Indy 500, he crashed his car, won at Le Mans, which was this weekend. Le Mans is a 24-hour car race. It's 24 hours you're in the car, with 3 different drivers, but the car goes for 24 hours. But this kid Nolan Siegel won. Within a couple of days, Siegel was announced as the new driver for McLaren. The problem is there was another driver that's already been in the car. So he tweeted and said, "I can't wait to race at Laguna Seca this weekend. Looking forward to it." And then, like, less than 24 hours later, it was announced that he was being replaced by a different driver. Awkward. Because they've been doing that for over nearly 100 years now. In fact, in the old days, they used to have to run to their cars, get their cars started, and then they'd leave. And they quit doing that after too many drivers got hit while they were trying to. But yes, Le Mans is it's an 8.3 mile track that's in France, and it's a huge honor. And Aaron McLaren's contracts are worth about as much as I would believe Paul Reeves on anything. So useless.
Wow.
Yeah, how you like that?
That's how you treat our listeners?
Don't get me started with Paul, okay? He's been
Paul,
coming at me. He's been coming at me for months.
Yeah, this is our 59th episode of From the Press Box, and I think Paul has been here for about 56 or 57.
56 of them. Yeah, I know. This is why I'm
and that's how you treat him.
Actually, that cup car did better than some of the regular cars in the race in that race. So
I do agree. A demolition derby style across the desert
race. I'd pay to watch that. That'd be fantastic.
Do you all have a county fair there?
Yeah. It's in the middle of July.
Yeah, ours is Labor Day week. Like the
demolition derby is like the closing event. It sells out every year.
See, it is. Yeah, Paul, you're up there. And we always appreciate it. Yeah, Paul's the GOAT without question. The county fair is all people take it real, and Chase will back. It is wild how serious. Yes.
I'm glad to know that we are not the only place that goes absolutely nuts for overpriced lemon shakes, man.
Yes. And see, I went my first year I was here. I loved it. I had to go every single day of the fair except for one night. Leroy, you probably can take a guess as to why I didn't have to go one of the nights.
The pageant?
No, because I was doing a football game that night.
Oh.
So it was literally every single night. And I'm glad we don't have to go to it anymore because there's nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. People come from the woodworks to go to the fair. It is just, but I always hated it because, and Leroy, you know this, is whenever radio stations are anywhere set up, what's the one thing people say when they walk into your tent? It's never, how you doing? Great. I love listening to your radio station. It's always a question.
Am I on the radio right now?
Okay, it's not that one. It is one of two. Got any t-shirts?
Oh.
Yeah. And what are you giving away?
Yeah.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. It's great. But I don't know. It just drives me up the wall. And then always, once you give somebody a t-shirt, it's, well, Billy couldn't come tonight. Could I have one for Billy?
We keep forgetting our banner. Randy's really big on bringing our banner everywhere we go. And I keep forgetting to grab it. One of these days, he's going to swing by or have to see a picture, and I'm just going to get just the biggest freaking butt chewing ever because I forgot the banner. Mm-hmm. How will they ever know what radio station I'm on?
Our tent that we use is, and I don't know that Chase has ever sent up our K105 tent, is the most extra tent in the history of radio stations. To the point where
you guys get a tent?
Well, literally, you have to blow it up like you're blowing up a bounce house. It's an inflatable tent, and it is the most extra thing in the world. Now it looks cool. Yeah. But we'd roll that in, and when we had the Hummer, listen, I could tell stories about the Hummer, and like shout out to Briley Napier. We almost died in the Hummer one day, driving home from a Grayson County baseball game. Yeah, you've never experienced the blow up tent, Chase. It is an experience. There's no question. But it is the most extra thing that we probably do in the radio station. Are we saying rest in peace, Hummer? I'm not. I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all.
I went
7 miles to the gallon.
I went golfing this weekend, and I go golfing maybe once, maybe twice a year. Sam knows how bad of a golfer I am, and it's crazy because when you don't do something a whole lot, and especially when you get older, you hurt in places you didn't know existed the next day. And I woke up the next morning like, oh, that's new. What is that? I don't want to talk about how bad I golf, but we did have a good time. We did enjoy it. But man, I tell you what, it was you get to about hole 14, hole 15, and it's like, all right, I've had my fun today. How many more of these do we have? Three more.
Now, how many deep were you at that point?
Well, I play by how many balls I find and how many balls I lose. So I was -6 at that point. So not the best day I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, he has to drive when he plays mini golf.
Paul's absolutely right. You hit to hole 15, you feel done, and then you hit an actual good shot, and you're like, of course, now I'm playing decent. I'm exhausted, my legs hurt, my arms are sore. I got a blister right here.
I got blisters on my fingers. And then your next shot goes in the woods.
Yes.
Without question.
Without a question.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show like just how good the professionals actually are. You know how they show the picture of all the guys lined up while like Tiger Woods tees off, all the people are lined up alongside. And I'm just like, you're not safe, you're not safe, you're not safe, you're not safe. You definitely aren't safe.
In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to see if I hope my computer doesn't just die right now.
3, by the way, John. I lost 3 balls in the water. The horrible week. Horrible golf game, man. I played horrible.
Okay. My computer might decide it wants to quit right now.
Oh, it'll become the Leroy show. You don't want that.
Let's see. Am I still on?
You are. You are.
Because I think I have a treat here. If it will allow for it.
No. Oh no. Yes. I don't like when he has treats.
Shall we pull this up? Circa July 3rd of 2020.
Oh no.
Do you know where I'm going?
I think so. Is it the time we went golfing?
Yes.
Oh, awful.
And without further ado.
Awful.
Shooting. Shot number 4.
You got it? No. Are you recording me, jerk?
Swing right here. Flags to
my
the
dad
left.
not helping at all.
Yes. He hit another tree. You think I'm joking, but that's at least the 20th tree he's hit today.
It was not
coming
20.
Up later for Jungleversary.
Right, it was the Jungleversary then.
That's right.
Charles Barkley swing right here. Flags to the left. Yes.
The hole is the other way too.
You think?
You know golf isn't your strong suit when you get the opportunity to run after your ball.
Yes. Yeah. That's that was not a bright spot in Leroy's day.
And let's be real. It's not like I think I won that day, but it's not like I was good. But I haven't played golf and it's probably been 2 or 3 years. 2 years probably. It's probably been 2 years. So.
Yeah, I usually go about once a year. Love the sport. Love it. I'm just horrible at it.
And it is one of those sports that if you don't play it enough, you're not going to be successful.
Yep.
And I play, if I'm lucky, once or twice a year.
Oh, we were playing with 3, and this one single guy came through. We let him play through, and it's just one of those things where, in just a moment, you could see he was way better than all of us combined. And you're just like, it'd be like, yeah, we can't let you play with us, Paul. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
You'd kick our butt.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play with us.
I'm now at the point where I've got a bad knee and a bad back. So like you said, by the time, an 80 or an 85, I'm lucky. Yeah. We're sometimes lucky to break that on 9.
100, man. Yeah, let's be real here.
I'd say I've only probably done a full 18, I don't know, half a dozen times. I've played 9 plenty of times, but I've only probably done, and probably my record is probably about a 120. But again, I don't play very often to do it. But I mean, an 80 to 85, Paul, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid. We'll have to do from the Pressbox Golf Scramble one day. All 4 of us.
Golf is Anthony Richardson is staying healthy.
Ooh. Well, feisty, aren't you today? Taking shots at all of our loyal listeners. I would never.
Yeah, you just don't
With
post
that.
their comments when they say mean things about the Bengals or pro Pittsburgh.
Let me know about the Carolina Bengals game. I think we are going to do that, Paul. I think we are. Mick and I. Lurpy is mad. Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know, Paul, if we end up jumping in and doing that. It's something that we're going to be discussing over these next couple of weeks to go down. Roy, you're welcome to fly to Carolina if you want to watch the Bengals and the Panthers play. Fly to Charlotte.
I'll put it on my calendar.
End of September. You can do it. I think that's a good point for us to wrap it up for today.
Appreciate all y'all.
We're 2 weeks away from our hot dog eating quest.
It's coming. It's coming. Or I proved to Sam. Did we have anything on the line for this?
No.
Bragging rights?
Yeah, I mean, because I think if I can, 4 is where I'm going to be happy with myself. If I do more than that, it's all icing on the cake.
Right. But you were very clear that I was not going to get 8.
I just don't think you're getting 8. I don't know. No, we're not giving any NASCAR points for that. That's too much. I just feel bad because here's the thing, Leroy, and it's where I've almost been considering whether we want to almost do like a special edition one night. Because if we're going to do that right off the bat, it is going to be because I know I'm going to lose. Like I fully admit that I'm going to lose. Is because the rest of that show we're going to be miserable. Like if you put down 10 hot dogs in 10 minutes,
yeah,
you're going to be miserable for the next 50 minutes of the show.
No, it's just going to be so yeah, we're excited for
Leroy's logos and Leroy's taking a crap. the Cons hot dogs have hit him a lot quicker. But I don't know. We'll figure that out.
We'll see.
Do it on a Thursday or a Friday night. I don't know that I want it on a Friday night because I don't want to ruin my weekend.
Seeing me eat hot dogs would ruin your weekend?
Well, I don't want to ruin my own weekend because what happens if I'm feeling hungry and I put down like 6 or 7 myself and the next thing I know, I'm crapping my brains out. Leroy, we'll see you next week.
Sounds good, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We appreciate all of you.
Absolutely. Likewise. We'll see you next week.